Welcome back to another edition of Sports Talk in the Burgh. I am your host, Jesse McCullough, here with Cam Wickline, Zach Jones, and Casey Irwine. Let's get right into it. Last Sunday, we saw the return of Mitch Trubisky to the Pittsburgh Steelers after Kenny Pickett suffered an injury in the third quarter of their game against the Buccaneers. Trubisky secured the win for Pittsburgh, though only by a 2-point margin. Overall, are you comfortable with Mitch's performance and return? Casey, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with Mitch's return. He looked very confident, and apparently there was some beef between him and Deontay Johnson, but I think that's been all cleared up at this point. And really, I'm more on Trubisky's side because I hear it was about Deontay Johnson complaining about lack of targets. Well, when he got targeted, he dropped the ball. And really, it's Kenny Pickett's rookie season, and to get a concussion this early, you really want to make sure it's nothing serious. And also, for long-term goals, you don't want to be like, say, for Pat Frymouth, for example, he's already got 3 concussions in 2 years. You don't want something like that happening with what should be your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, Mitch has looked good in the Steelers' offense. I don't think they should have taken him out that early, especially in the game against the Jets. He was looking good before they took him out in the second half. But I mean, I don't think they're going to start Pickett. I know there were reports of him practicing. They're probably going to do what the Dolphins did with Teddy Bridgewater when he went down, where he was practicing and he was good to play, but they still started their backup and then just had Teddy Bridgewater suit up just in case he went down, and that ended up happening. But I think that's what they're going to do with Pickett, just have him in case Trubisky goes down.
I don't know if I was watching a different Steelers team than you guys when Trubisky was playing, but I thought that offense was absolutely horrible.
I mean, it's bad.
It was
bad.
bad. I think
in that last game, though.
Yeah, and they held off the Bucs, and I think Mitch has done the best he can with that Matt Canada offense.
No, I agree with you, but I think they just look better when Pickett's in. I think if Pickett can play, don't get me wrong, if he's not healthy, don't play him. But if he's healthy, there is absolutely no reason Pickett shouldn't be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Pickett definitely has looked better. The offense has looked better as a whole, for sure. I feel like the players are more energized when Pickett is out there, but at the same time, I don't feel the need that there should be the need to rush him back.
Especially with this Dolphins game. It's the last game before the bye. They can reassess in the bye. So
yeah, I agree.
The NBA's 2023 season started just yesterday, and with the new season comes new teams, new rivalries, and all the hot takes that come with them. And all eyes are on the championship. Zach, who do you think will take home the trophy this year?
For the first time in years, the Minnesota Timberwolves are title contenders, and I am here for it. They have Cat, they got D'Lo, they got Jaden McDaniels, they have Ant, and they picked up Gobert without losing any of those core pieces. Sure, they might have sacrificed their future, giving up 5 first-round picks, but they kept their core, and they are clearly going to win now, and I think they're going to do great. I mean, who is going to beat that team? If they go small, then they have Cat on the outside. He's going to destroy them. I don't think there's any way that I mean, I don't know. I think this is the team to beat in the West.
Well, I mean, they traded their whole future for the guy that started the global pandemic. Okay.
Whoa.
And also, have you seen Cat's perimeter defense? He looks lost out there. All right. He's not. It's not the answer. I mean, what the real answer is the big dark horse that everyone's forgetting about. The Chicago Bulls.
That's
everyone. Everyone forgets that last year before the injuries, they were first in the East.
They still have injuries. No one even knows when Lonzo's coming back.
He's
or if
coming
he'll
back.
Even be the same.
If the Bulls hold out, if they can just stay in contention until Lonzo comes back, he completes the team. He completes the defense, and that is what the Bulls have lacked. The offense is there. They've got DeRozan and Levine. So when Lonzo comes back, the Bulls have
You
got a
keep
chance.
saying when Lonzo comes back. When is he coming back? They say he can't even jog to an extent. He can't even jump.
Surgery was good.
I don't even think the Bulls are going to be all that when Lonzo does come back. Does he really make them a title contender?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. You asked who's going to beat the Timberwolves. It's not that hard of an answer. The Golden State Warriors are going to beat the Timberwolves.
The
Golden State Warriors, dude, they have a solid 6-man rotation. They still have the Splash Brothers in Clay. Jordan Poole is an absolute stud. You guys are going to hear a little bit about that. And then Kevin Looney, last night he was plus 30. I mean, he's obviously a presence when he's on the court. They are the team to beat.
Kevin Looney did look great in last year's playoffs.
Just make sure that Jordan Poole can see a left eye because it might be a little swollen.
Though basketball is a team sport, it is hard not to root for the fantastic players all across the league. Only one can be the most valuable player, though. So who do you think will win MVP this year, Cam?
I was just talking about him. Jordan Poole is going to shock the world and win MVP this year. He is currently not a starter on their team. They just gave him 4 years, $140 million. You don't pay that kind of money for someone to be your sixth man. He is an elite perimeter shooter. He is a stud. You guys are going to be shocked when he is hoisting that MVP trophy at the end of this season. You can book it now.
So where does he fit into the starting lineup? Do you move Wiggins to the 4, him into the 3?
I put Wiggins at the 4, Clay at the 3, and then Jordan Poole at the 2. Play a little small. They've done it before back when they had Iggy. They've played small before. It's not unlike the Warriors.
I mean, Steph Curry is literally on that team.
Steph Curry is going to turn into a ball handler to supply. If you were watching the game last night, Curry can supply Poole, and Poole can supply Curry.
If you were watching the game last night, you'd see that Jordan Poole was 4 for 15.
I was watching. It doesn't matter about the numbers he was putting up. It matters about how he was playing. The shots are going to fall with a player of his caliber.
If you were watching the games last night, you should see that Jason Tatum should be the MVP frontrunner right now.
He did look good.
The
He
was really good.
Celtics are probably the best all-around team right now, especially with the addition of Malcolm Brogdon and Tatum. 35 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. They beat the 76ers, the Embiid-Harden combo, solid, and I don't see a reason why Jason Tatum can't win the MVP this year.
Yeah, I love Jason Tatum. The Celtics look good. The biggest question around the Celtics is, of course, the coaching situation and how much drama has gone around in and out of the organization. They got a 2K-generated coach in there right now. My personal MVP is Devin Booker. Last year, he finished top 3 in voting, and it's a Suns bounce-back year after getting eliminated in the second round, which honestly shouldn't have happened. They should have probably won the title last year, but they did not. And Devin Booker is going to improve off of last year. He's going to take a load off of the aging CP3, and if he gets more playmaking opportunities, then he can easily win MVP.
Young star, 8 years in the league.
Well, that was very insightful. Now shifting over to hockey, the Metropolitan Division is full of teams vying for the division title. As competition heats up on the ice, which team will stand above the rest with the Metro title? Zach, what are you thinking?
I got the team that won it last year. I got the Hurricanes. Like I said, they won the division last year, and they got better by adding Brent Burns and Max Pacioretty. And they were one of the best defensive teams last year, and they still look great this year. They've opened the season 3-0. Their defense looks amazing. They've only allowed 3 goals through 3 games. They have great forward depth, and their goalie is a bit of a question mark, but if they can stay healthy and keep that duo in, they look great.
I said it once, I say it again. Canes are just so bad to watch. Like it's so annoying because they just cannot catch a pass, and I don't see them once again doing as well. I think the team to beat right now, not in just the Metro, but in the NHL, the New York Rangers. They're off to a flying start. Zibanejad, incredible. Panarin, incredible. Obviously, you've got Igor Shesterkin back there, and I don't see a reason why the Rangers can't even win it all this year.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The Rangers are an electric team, like you said. They're my pick, too. Igor Shesterkin, he's very good. Last year was the Vezina Trophy winner, giving up just a little bit over 2 goals a game with a .935 save percentage. He's drawn back a little bit this year, but he's played 4 games. The law of average is going to equal out. He's going to be a very good goalie again. The Rangers are going to be a force to reckon with.
Yeah, it's still very early.
Well, after a devastating hamstring injury, N'Golo Kante will be unable to represent France at this year's World Cup. How huge of a loss is this for France? Should the French still have hope, Casey?
I think they should definitely have hope because they're probably the most well-rounded team, but it's probably the biggest loss and worst news that they could receive. N'Golo Kante is the best defensive midfielder in the world. The little dude can run forever. Last World Cup, they played against Argentina, had Lionel Messi, the greatest player of all time, in his back pocket. He's just incredible, and it's really sad that we're not going to get to hear the N'Golo Kante, ba la 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 la. You're not going to hear the chant anymore. It's sad.
That is very sad. And yeah, France is defending their 2018 win. They're still the team to beat, let's be honest. And, I mean, they're also without Paul Pogba because of his knee. But, I mean, they're still second in champion odds, and they have Kylian Mbappe. I mean, they're not going to lose.
Crybaby.
As you brought up, they don't have Paul Pogba. It's going to be a pretty weak midfield out of them. Like you said, they're second for the odds right now. I'm going to drop them down a little bit because right behind them is Argentina, like you said. With a player like Messi, you can never sleep on them.
With that, we're going to go to a quick break. Stay tuned, folks, at Sports Talk in the Burgh.
It's been difficult. because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
I can't wait to
no
get back
way
to
you
field
called me
trip for my
Casey.
school.
Not having to think about putting on a mask.
I really can't wait to get back to life, really.
I miss all my friends. I miss taking pictures in school.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
COVID-19 vaccines are available, and they're the first step to safely getting back to things we miss most. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccines.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people.
It's time to make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccines. The dangerous new Delta variant is more than twice as contagious as the original virus and can affect anyone. Right now, 9 out of 10 hospitalizations and deaths from COVID are among unvaccinated people. Getting vaccinated might save your life, and there's now an option that's fully approved by the FDA. Learn more at getvaccineanswers.org.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back, folks. Let's get into college sports. After a thrilling last-second victory, Tennessee beat Alabama, followed by the fans in attendance escorting the goalpost to a nearby river. With such a statement victory, do you think Tennessee is the team to beat in college football? What are you thinking, Casey?
Well, they almost lost to Pitt. I know they just beat Alabama, but they did almost lose to Pitt. And here's the thing. I think the team to beat is still Ohio State. I think overall they're still the best team. They've looked the most consistent out of all the big teams. Because even you could say Georgia, but Georgia, they've been a little shaky. Stetson Bennett, don't know about him. I mean, because Ohio State, they've got C.J. Stroud. I mean, they've got Harrison, and they're the team to beat still, in my opinion, for sure.
I think the team to beat is going to end up coming out of the SEC. It might be Tennessee, but I think right now a lot of people would argue that it's Georgia, but Georgia's had a cupcake schedule, and I might be crazy, but Nick Saban is an absolute legend. There's Georgia and Tennessee still have to play each other. Someone's going to get a loss out of that. Bama is not out of this yet. I still have Bama as my team to beat.
Yeah, Bama is still, incredible. It's Bama. It will always be Bama. But I don't have Tennessee as my team to beat either. I have Georgia still because, like you said, cupcake schedule, and they've been a little shaky, but they're still undefeated since winning the national championship. That's got to mean something. They're still the top dogs in the college football landscape, and until they get a loss, they're still, like I said, undefeated since the college football championship. They are the top dogs right now, and I don't think there's any reason for them to be lower than that.
Yeah, I guess as you're saying, no one's beat them, so they still are the team to beat, I guess, in the literal sense of the word. That being said, I don't think they're the best team in the country right now.
Yeah, it's Ohio State.
Though Tennessee fans are celebrating, fans of Alabama are now questioning the merits of their own team. Do you think Alabama can recover and take it all the way to the playoffs? Cam?
Yeah, like I just said, I think Bama is the best team in the country still. They were at the Vols' home park. They lost by, what was it? 3 points? I think it was 3 points.
Game-winning field goal.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, yeah, game-winning field goal. They were in it to the very end. It's Nick Saban. You can never bet against Nick Saban. They're probably still going to find a way to weasel their way into the playoffs. They're probably going to win a game there, and then they're in the national championship again.
Yeah, I feel like somehow every year, even when they do lose and probably shouldn't be in it based on what they've lost, they still find a way to do it. I think they've got a little bit of preference because they know that Alabama's going to get them good football games, and they're still always going to be the team to beat. Next time they play, if Tennessee, Alabama play in the SEC championship, Alabama's probably still going to be favored in that game. So yeah, there's no way that their hopes are over. It's as we said,
it's Bama.
Yeah. There's absolutely no way their hopes are over. They still have plenty of time to crawl back in. I think they have 5 games remaining on their schedule. That's plenty of time, and they have a ranked matchup against I think Mississippi State. But they're top, and they're in the top 25. So if they win against them, then that's a ranked win. That's good for the voters. And they still have Bryce Young and Nick Saban. You can't count those guys out. And yeah, like you said, Tennessee and Georgia are going to play each other later in the year. So someone's going to get knocked out of that.
That's what I mean. No, there's going to be one undefeated team out of the SEC. So I think there's a chance it's either going to be Georgia or Tennessee. That's probably it's going to have to be. Outside of that,
I guess
Bama's not done.
The thing I don't understand with Bama is Bama's always the prestige college football. It's always at the top. It's always the team to beat. And then they get one loss, and then everyone's like, "Oh, Bama's over. They shouldn't. They don't deserve." Almost no teams any year go undefeated. I don't understand how one loss to a great Tennessee team knocks them out of the playoff contention entirely. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Bama's never done.
Bama's never done.
As the NBA starts up, college basketball isn't far behind, with the AP releasing their rankings for the college basketball world. North Carolina tops the rankings with Gonzaga and Houston not far behind. Are you happy with these rankings, Zach?
I mean, I think they look fine. I personally would have Houston at number 1, to be honest. They looked great last year. Jamal Shadd looked great in the tourney, and Marcus Sasser is a good forward. And Indiana is a good sleeper pick as well. I think they're ranked 13th at the moment, and they're probably the favorite to come out of the Big Ten. And I know the Big Ten catches some flack in the college football or college basketball world. Sorry, but I mean they look good, and someone's got to break the Big Ten curse eventually.
Yeah. You would think so. I mean, I do think the Big Ten has a couple good teams this year, but the class of college basketball is still the ACC.
True.
UNC is still legit. They're who I'd have as my number 1. That's who AP had ranked as their number 1.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think Duke might do something special this year, though. So they're ranked at 7. I think the AP poll is good, and I think Duke's going to climb it.
I'm really interested to see what Duke does in their first season without Coach K. It should be really interesting. I mean, obviously, Paulo Boncher's not there anymore, but it's all about Coach K for the last however many decades. Team I'm interested in, though, is Kansas. They did win me $100 last year from March Madness bracket, so I'd like to see them at first because I think they deserve it. But I really loved North Carolina's play last year. They were such a good team, and they were ranked an 8th seed for some reason because they went all the way to the championship. And yeah, I don't know about them being at 1. I think Gonzaga, should probably still be 1. But I think I like seeing that North Carolina's that high. And as you said, Duke, I am interested to see what Duke does. They could definitely cause some damage. And I want to hear you talk about the boys in blue, but
Michigan is going to win the national championship. That is my big take.
Yeah, sure. RMU football has continued to struggle through their season. And though the Colonials were able to get a lead this time, and this game marks the 3rd instance that the Colonials had scored double digits, they still lost. Often we have cited Coach Clark as the main issue, but we really haven't had a solution. So, Casey, who would you pick to replace him?
I mean, who would really want to replace him? I don't know.
It's still a Division I football program.
It is. I mean, I could replace him. I don't know, maybe. But one recommendation I did hear, I'm not sure how good of a recommendation it was, but Jim Render, who was the Upper St. Clair coach for 49 years, just retired 3 years ago. I don't know why he'd want to come back, but he's the winningest WPIAL coach in history, so maybe.
Yeah, I mean, my pick is going to have to be, it's a little outlandish, but I'm going to go with Brian Flores. He was the coach of the Miami Dolphins. Now he's at the Steelers. It's a little bit of a fall from grace. I get that, but he can coach. It's a Division I opportunity still. He has some issues going on with him around the NFL with the lawsuits that he's filed. Why not come to Robert Morris, get yourself back, and then, you can revitalize your career.
I mean, Adam Gase is an offensive coordinator in high school.
So. Yeah, that's true. I'm going back home to my high school with the Burrell High School coach. I lost it in my notes here. Sean Leota. He's improved the Burrell High School football team greatly in the past few years. Just 2 years, we had a 1-win football season, and then after that we had 2 wins, and we somehow still made the playoffs. And then after that, finally, Sean Leota got the Bucks to a 5-3 record. So he's improved that program over 3 or 4 years he's been there, and why can't he do the same with RMU
I'll
Colonial
pay you
football?
$100 if a random high school coach from Minnesota comes and coaches RMU head football.
This is Lower Burgh, PA. This is 50
Lower
minutes
Burgh
away.
football team still sucks. Why do we want their coach?
They are 5-3, all right?
They still suck.
They've improved.
All right, sure. Yeah, I love the discussion, guys. We're doing a great job here. With the AP releasing their rankings, the Colonial basketball team was ranked 293rd. Do you think this ranking is justified, Zach?
You know, with 363 total teams in that poll, it was a little information overload to try to find if they were picked correctly. So I just looked at the other Horizon League teams, and you know, the Colonials were ranked 8th out of the 11th in the Horizon League, with IUPUI at 363 out of 363, absolute bottom of the league. And yeah, the Northern Kentucky University Norse ranked 1st, and they ranked 151 overall. So there's about, 100 spots in between us and them. So I think that's fair. And I mean, last season RMU basketball finished 5-16 in Horizon League. So I think 8th in the Horizon League is fine. It's a fine spot for the Colonials. But hopefully they should look to improve later on this year. And I would love to see the Colonials prove that 8th spot ranking wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the Colonials are still newer to the Horizon League, but Andy Toll is probably the best head coach in the Horizon League, even though he is new to it. And RMU, they've got a lot of people staying, like Khalil Spear. They've got new big recruits, like former 3-star recruit TJ Wainwright out of LA. And so I think that right now it is a fair spot because they are still new. They're adjusting. They haven't had great success in the Horizon League so far, but I think they could definitely climb. I think right now, goal short term should be try to get top 200, and then maybe a little bit more. Top 100, and then top 64 March Madness.
I mean, yeah, as you said, what did you say Northern Kentucky was? In the 150s, right?
Yeah, 151.
I mean, so it's no secret that Horizon League isn't exactly the class of college basketball. So, I mean, Ardmore's probably going to be a bottom half team this year in the Horizon League, which means I think their ranking's acceptable.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely have the ability to be good. They have some players, but I'm not mad about their ranking at all. They haven't done anything to be ranked higher, I'll say that.
You're a hater.
True. Hey, they beat Kentucky a few years ago.
They did.
More than a few at this point.
After the break, our panelists will give you their final takes, and maybe they'll make sense. We'll be right back, right here on Sports Talk in the Burgh.
Overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward. Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo! Oh, hey, Julia. You ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum.
Drum loud. Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music.
Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Can I get the now bar, please? $1. Have a good one.
Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure.
$1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
Welcome back, folks, to Sports Talk in the Burgh. Let's get started with our final takes. Casey, take it away.
So last week I basically had the equivalent of I Have a Dream, but for the Steelers. But for this week, I do have to say, for the Steelers, neither Kenny Pickett or Tua Tagovailoa should be playing on Sunday Night Football. This has already been perhaps the worst season in recent memory for head injuries and concussions. Obviously, Tua was the much bigger story, and the whole nation has seen how bad of a hit he took and how the NFL has already failed him this season and multiple other players. Now today, Tua spoke with the media for the first time since the incident, and he said that even he didn't know what was going on around him. He said that he was unconscious. There's no need to rush his return due to poor performances by the Dolphins in their last 3 games. Same goes for Pickett. This is rookie season. There's no need to rush him back from a head injury just to play for a season that's more than likely going nowhere. NFL needs to monitor the serious injuries much more than they have. And maybe we won't be seeing any more Antonio Browns.
The NFC has got to come back down to earth. 3 of the 4 teams in the division are overperforming in a division that is usually the laughingstock of the league. There is a 5-1 Giants team led by Daniel Jones and a 4-2 Cowboys team led by Cooper Rush. I'll say that again. Daniel Jones and Cooper Rush. Saquon Barkley has been playing out of his mind on a pace that he won't be able to keep up, and I believe that will be the downfall of the Giants. And anyone knows that the Cowboys don't need a reason to fall apart. They just will. I'll give the Eagles a pass since they were expected to be good, but I don't think anyone expected this. In a sentence I don't think anyone has ever said before, God bless the Washington Commanders for actually keeping everybody sane and playing within expectations. In a division that doesn't usually deserve even 1 playoff team, the fact that they would have 3 in the playoffs if the season ended today is almost unbelievable.
You know, I would like to take a minute to talk about LeBron James. Entering his 20th year, who knows how much more of LeBron will have left? The all-time great is still performing at the ripe age of 37, and he is expected to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar later this season for the leader in all-time points. With so many detractors and haters of the Lakers out there, it is easy to lose sight of the greatness of LeBron. Who knows how many seasons he has left, so I'm saying we should enjoy the greatness while he's here. Players this great are only around once in a generation, and he has been so underappreciated, it's time to give him the love he deserves. Look, in a tough West, the Lakers probably don't even make it to the postseason, but it will still be good to follow the Lakers because they're bound to be entertaining. It's a clown show over there. And LeBron is projected to break all the all-time scoring records in January, and that is not something that NBA fans will want to miss.
Okay, so here's the thing. About the Eagles, yeah, they were supposed to be good. I like Jordan Davis a lot. He should be playing more in the run game. And the Cowboys, as Cam said, they're going to fall apart. It's the Cowboys. They're not winning anything. Just what Dak Prescott is going to come back and, oh, there's another interception here, interception there. CeeDee Lamb's going to drop a few passes. Zeke, don't even want to talk about Zeke. But, yeah, they're going to collapse. The Giants, everyone says, oh, they're legit. No, they're not. Still the Giants. And
all right. I don't like that whole mindset of they're still this team, they're still yada yada. That's just stupid. Sports landscapes are changing all the time. Teams improve upon themselves so much. The Golden State Warriors, for example, are like the gold standard of basketball now. Everyone goes, oh, of course the Warriors are great because they won so many championships in the last 10 years. They were awful throughout all these 2000s. Just 10 years ago, you'd be laughed at for saying the Warriors are an elite franchise, but now they're one of the greatest. That's just how the sports world works. It moves, it changes, like it's like tides, you know?
Yeah, but the biggest difference here is that the Warriors changed because they drafted Steph Curry. He now leads their team. The Giants have Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
He is horrible. Daniel Jones is so garbage. How do you expect them to go anywhere? They've been fluky. They're 5-1. I wouldn't shock me if they finished the year with 5 wins. They are not a very good team. Daniel Jones is not a very good quarterback.
I agree with you on Daniel Jones, but they got Brian DeBall. They're changing the culture, and that's what the sport, that's Dable. They change the sports cultures, and you change the wins, all right?
I get that the culture matters, but you still need talent to go win games, I simply think.
And they have Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley can't carry a team. Adrian Peterson was on a lot of bad Vikings teams.
And he carried him to the playoffs.
They just have a star receiving core, right?
MVP
Kenny Galladay, Wan'Dale Robinson. Oh, man. They got a tight end? Who knows? Okay, the O-line is still the Giants O-line. Evan Neal's been, I mean, Kayvon Thibodeau just got Thibodeau just got his first sack. I mean, they're still the Giants, and as you said, thank you for Commanders. We really appreciate you.
Who would have ever thought you would ever say that about a Commanders organization?
About that organization, about Carson Wentz. So yeah, LeBron James, he's probably going to pass Kareem this season, and
he will. Bar an injury, he will.
He's going to pass Kareem, and Is he the greatest player of all time?
I was just going to ask that. That's a big discussion.
I don't like having that debate, but I would say yes. If I was choosing an NBA team and you said I had the choice of any player, I would just choose LeBron James.
Michael Jordan is the best player of all time. It's not even close. He turned himself into an icon.
And we're going to Jesse.
With that, that's all from us here at Sports Talk in the Burgh. We'll see you next week.